And they said, leave alone the Africans. They never come to anything. Already they had put them in this box. And I asked, how do you tell them? How do you invite them? And they said, oh, we give them flyers, we take them to migrant resource centers, we take them to the health centers. And even if they take, they don't come. And I said, our people are not reading people. Our people are word of mouth. And I started thinking, and for sure, I realized they're not accessing. They're not accessing the services. For example, they finished their 510 hours of English, but the TAFE or volunteers are there to continue teaching them English. And I started thinking, how can I make them access services? I thought about the men, and I thought the men, whether it doesn't matter which community they come from, is very hard to access services. So I thought about the youth, and I said, youth get information from the school. And that's how I zeroed with the women. And I said, what does the women like? And at that time, I'm talking of African women. And I said, oh, they like dressing up, they like dancing, and they like good food. And that's how the African Women Dinner Dance was born. When I started selling the idea of, let's do a dinner dance, everyone I went to, nobody can fund you for that. Nobody can fund you for that. But there was a lady who listened and could hear what I'm saying. I was saying, dinner dance, it's not a dinner dance, it's a vehicle for these women to come and get information. And you know, a woman, when you give a woman an information, they share with everyone with ears. Even the woman tells their husband like 100 times, did you hear, if they believe in something and they like something? So you give, so my work was done. And the first dinner dance was done and 350 women attended. And for sure, we had somebody who talked about how she left the abusive relationship. And on Monday, we had over 20 women come to report domestic violence. Then after that, a culture exchange program was born. And culture exchange was born in my kitchen when we were making breakfast. In the women from Aladala group of dramas, they saw us on the newspaper and they approached me that they want to come to us to the dinner dance, but they cannot afford to stay in the hotel because we finish the dinner dance at 12, at midnight. And I said, do not mind. If you don't mind sharing our beds or sleeping on the floor, you can stay with us. And for sure, they took the challenge and they came and stayed with us. And in the morning, they had breakfast in my house, all of them. And when we are cooking, we are laughing, we are talking, we are from different cultures, different communities, and you'd think we are born by one mother, one father, the way we are laughing. And that's when the Aladala women said, hang on, you can come and visit us. And we continue cooking and chatting. And that's when the culture exchange program was born, because we traveled to Aladala on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And on our way going to Aladala, that time I never even knew east or west or wherever. I didn't even, my geography is not, but I didn't even know where Aladala is. Now, and I followed all the places we've gone. Now that's when I can make sense of it. When we were in Kayama, our bus broke down. And when it broke down, the women, they were connecting, they were dancing. One lady had a guitar. She was playing music and the women are dancing. They played all the games. You know, the games a 4-year-old play, throwing the stones, jumping with one leg. It's as if they went back. And for me, I'm very busy looking for them to solve the problem of the camp. So I'm seeing them along the road, how they are happy. And when the cars are passing, they say, beep, 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 beep. They think we are celebrating. They didn't think we are stuck. So nobody can help us. And once we finished that, that one really taught me something. You can change negative to positive. The women never complained. There's one lady who had come with cooked food, Ethiopian food. We never carry cooked food, but I don't know why this lady carried cooked food. And we shared, and we didn't even finish the food. We had water and we had fruits. It took 4 hours before it was we got help. And as we were not worried, the Aladala women kept on calling. In fact, one of them asked, "Are you going to come or are you going to go back?" And I said, "Why do we go back? We are coming, even if it is midnight, we shall come." And for sure, we went and we had the best part, the best time, because all those women had never left Sydney. And these women are mixed up for Africans from different countries. We have Afghan, we have Iraqi, we have Indian, Pakistan. So it's all women from different places. And from that culture exchange program, we have been, and that was 2008, we've been going to different region areas 2 times a year, in April and in November. What comes out of that? It's what is my theme today: get to know your neighbor. People in those region areas, they don't know us, but they open the doors for us. You should see after 2-3 days, somebody who was very dark, the third day she's bright. Where there's a lady from Pakistan, she was very tiny. And when we were going, she was not talking. In fact, she had come with a caseworker, with her support person. And she was not talking. But when we were coming back on Sunday, because we go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Sunday, when we are coming back, the women are laughing. They're asking, "So and so, did you learn English in 3 days?" And they are laughing. Why they are saying that? Because this lady is talking like a typewriter. All her confidence was up. You know, they go through a lot of abuse that until you know you are told nothing, until you feel you are nothing. She was shot when we were going. By the time we were coming back, she was torn. Just because a neighbor opened the door for us. We've gone to Aladala. We've gone to Aladala twice. We've gone to Griffith. We've gone to Bathurst. We've gone to Port Macquarie, Maitland, Gerringong, Albury. We went to a school in on the border of New South Wales and Victoria. And this school was a very troubled school. And when the teachers, because we had gone there first, and then the school invited us a second time. And we were supposed to be there from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. And I'm asking myself, what will we be doing in the school for all these hours? But in a class, if it's let's say a low class or agriculture, 3 women are in a class and from different countries, and every woman will answer a question from the students according to their country. There was a lot of learning by the time we finished, and the kids kept on rotating. The women stayed one place, but the kids rotate. We have a history class, we have a geography class, and the teachers told us the school have never been the same. We opened our hearts, they opened their homes, their hands for us. Sharing, you can share in different ways. Those women their families don't know us. When we are going, they were the host saying, "Who am I hosting?" And I say, "Don't worry, you will get somebody." And we have never missed host families. The host families are more than even the women who go. So through that, when we come back, there's a lot of support these women get, because most of them, they don't have jobs. They make permanent friendship. They help each other look for jobs. They visit each other, especially during like this time of lockdown. We have a group. I keep on giving them some ideas when we could travel, but this one now is too hard. The other one, I could tell them, take a train and go all the way to Blue Mountain, carry some sandwiches, go and see the 3 sisters, then buy some ice cream or coffee and come back, or go to Opera House. And they manage, they meet 3 of them, and they will do something. Even, and I showed them how to do picnics in their homes. And now it's locked, they check on each other. We check on each other through phone calling, through Zoom. And that is the way of just looking after your neighbor. Then when I used to live in Bochum Hills, and I lived there for 9 years, no one used to talk to me. I could not understand. You see how I'm talkative? No one was talking to me. I tried, nobody was talking to me. And I vote wherever I will go, and I know I'm going to stay for long, I'm going to make a difference. And for sure, when I moved to Camden, it was a new estate, and I was, thank God, I was the first person to be on the street. And when everybody is moving, I go there, I introduce myself, and I give them my card. And I tell them, the shops are here, the doctors are there, the fruits were there, because I'm helping my neighbors. And just through that small act, everybody stops to talk to everybody in our suburb. They will, even if they don't know, they'll stop and start asking, where are you from? What, where? And you will think you have met a long time ago. Knowing your neighbor is not only your neighbor next door. Your neighbor can be that person who sits next to you in the office. They don't talk to someone. Just go, and you obviously you have seen the coffee they drink or the tea, you know, there's black or white. Just make a cup for them. And even if they don't want to talk, at least you have extended your hand. The school where you take your children, there's that woman who pushing a pram. Today, you can see she's crying or she's not even lifting her head. Just go and say, hi, are you okay today? I go to schools and I tell the kids, when you see your parents come home, you can see it's a hard day. It was their day to wash the dishes. Maybe it was a dad's day to wash the dishes. You cannot die by leaving your gadgets and just help dad wash those dishes that day. You've made his day. The teacher comes when you can see she's struggling. She didn't wake up well, or something is happening. Just go and say, Miss, today you are not having a good day, and you've broken that heart maybe she was going through. Say, can I bring you a cup of tea, or can I bring you some water? Just know, getting to know your neighbor is so many ways you can do it. If you live somewhere, you see somebody in a hijab or somebody from a different color, just go and say hi to them. Or, for example, for me, I love cooking. I cook my Kenyan food. I go and, especially during this lockdown, one day I woke up, I was very low. What did I do? I had some 2 chicken in my freezer. I got the chicken out. I cooked them. And I packed them, and I cooked another food, mashed potato with peas and corn. That is our traditional food. I packed 2 containers of chicken, 2 containers of the mashed food, and I tied it, and I went and dropped in people's houses. I called them, I tell them, check at your door, there's something, because you cannot talk to somebody during COVID. Those women were so happy. Sometimes you call someone you have not talked to, your sister, your auntie who you have not talked for 10 years. That friend maybe you are with in primary and you still have a connection. If everyone can check on each other, this world will be very peaceful. And listening. Listen with those inner ears. Listen, what is your neighbor doing? I have a friend, I'll finish by saying, I had a friend who goes to a chapel in Cumberland Hospital. And have one person there, one person there, one person there. It is the beginning of this year. And there's this homeless girl. She was like 13 or 14 years. She came and sat next to my friend. And she asked her, can I lie on you? And my friend said yes. That girl slept for 2 good hours. When she woke up, she said, I can't remember the last time I slept. And before she left, she asked my friend, can you please hug me? And my friend hugged her. She said, I've never been hugged by anyone. Those small things, we think they're just not important. Even when you say hi and somebody doesn't answer, just sit next to them. When they feel there's somebody next to them, that is to get to know your neighbor. When I was very new in this country, I was living in Randwick. In a unit of 15 units, no one used to talk to me. And I used to think, what is wrong with this country? And on 24th Christmas, my first Christmas in this country, I had some cards I had bought to send to Kenya, but I didn't, I was not able to send. And I said, I sent to everyone in the unit, and I would say, unit number 1, my name is Rosemary. I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas. This is my number. Could you please be talking to me? I'm telling you, and I put the cards before midnight. I went to every unit and I put under the door, so that if they were asleep in the morning, they will see it. And from that day, everyone stopped talking, used to stop to talk to me. Some used to come and knock at me. Even we started visiting each other, and they were not doing that before. So if each one of us, we can lend a hand, we can do something, we can go out of our comfort zone. There are people, there's one day I was having some visitors here, and I remembered somebody I had met in the other street, and I sent my grandson, who I live with, can you go and invite this lady to come? She came. She sat on the floor, and she was sitting. My house, you can sit anywhere. So it's not the one you come and sit on the floor. Everybody's everywhere. So I didn't realize it. But after that, she called me and she said, Rosemary, you saved my life that day you invited me to your house. She said she was going very bad postnatal, what is it called? Postnatal mental health. But that inviting her changed everything. And she met so many friends. In my house, I have a day bed. I have some magazines there. Everybody knows you're having a hard time. Just come and sit there. And thank God I have an old fridge now. I put some fruit and some water. The only thing you pay is to water my garden. And you can take some veggies or herbs. So all of us, I'm asking you, let us do something small. And to finish, I want to read something that Pope said. We are all in the same boat, and we are called to commit ourselves so that no more walls separate us, so that there are no longer others, but only one. We are we as wide as all of humanity. Let us stop saying I. Let us start saying we. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Rosemary. So inspiring. What we're going to do now is I will ask Rosemary a few questions, which I'm sure some of you may already have. And at the end of the question session, we'll open it up to everyone. So if you'd like to start jotting down your questions in the chat, we can address that in the last 10, 15 minutes or so. So Rosemary, I think you've actually answered a lot of the questions that I had in my mind. One of the things that struck me was what would you say to people? I mean, looking at you, you're a larger than life character, very extroverted, you love people. What would you say to people who feel shy or uninterested in taking a step to find out who lives next door to them? Or why do we need to reach out to people?
Why do we want to reach to people? Because we are just social butterflies. We can't live without other people. People right now, they call me and say, I don't like people, but I've come to realize I'm missing them now. I don't think I'll ever say I don't love people anymore. Somebody can be going through a very hard time, and just saying hi to them can change their mind thinking. We need to, if you're shy, there's so many things you can do. You can take the beans outside for that elderly lady or a nursing mother outside, and that starts the conversation. You can see a woman or a man carrying bags. You can lend a hand. By just doing that, a conversation starts. You can even send a card. And because there are so many shy people, but you can do things practically not with your mouth. You can help that worker who is always alone. You can go and sit next to her during lunchtime. There's so many things you can do. You don't have to be Rosemary yappy. You can do them practically. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So coming back to this idea of just our actual neighbors in our buildings or, on either side of our homes, I think many of us have heard the stories, sad stories of people who have died in their apartments and no one has known about it for weeks. So what do you think has gone wrong in that apartment block or in that street?
Yeah, it's a sad story that many people have died and no one knows. What has gone wrong is the fear. Everybody fears. You fear the fear of unknown. You don't talk to that person because you think, what will they think? If you're a woman, they'll think, oh, maybe it's a man. No, maybe he'll think I'm interested. Or if it is another community, you're thinking, oh, I don't know whether I'm culturally right. You can say, I'm sorry, I don't know whether I'm doing the right thing, but I just want to say hi to you. It's the way you change the way you talk. And even if it comes wrongly, that's still okay because your heart is clean. I remember I said hi I had moved to one block of units and my opposite neighbors, they were South Sudanese. And I was very excited. Ooh, I have some Africans in my neighbors. And when I met them in the corridor, I said hi. And then I said, what's your name? The question he answered me is, why do you want to know my name? And I said, because I'm your neighbor. Then he melted. And that was the reason why. And I said, my name is Rosemary. And because we are neighbors, we will need each other. Maybe you have young children. I have young children comes to my home. And we're from the same place. And from that time, he could stop and say hi to me. So don't be on the defensive. Even if somebody answers you, just know you are here for the right thing. And also, not only the people in the building, yes. What about the people maybe they work with? Maybe they don't have families, but they have friends, but neighbors. If 2 or 3 people start, you can start even games. Nowadays, for example, with this lockdown, my family, because nobody can see me, or I cannot see anybody. Every fortnight, we do some games online. And when we are doing the online games, even the ones who don't talk, they start talking because you have to ask a question. So you look for ways. You can start telling it, let's play a game. Or let's say meet, let's say, especially in summer, you can just write something and put people's doors and let's meet outside our doors and have a drink or something. So there's so many, and then insurance thing, everybody fears, oh my God, what about the insurance? What about if they hurt themselves? What about things happen bad if you think of bad things? Just think of positive things. Before, all the kids used to play outside. Now they can't play because you're thinking, oh, what about if something happens? But if you know each other in the streets, nothing will go bad because you look after each other. You haven't even told each other, but you look after each other. In Tungabi, they have a neighborhood watch group on Facebook. So if somebody in that street, they see something funny, they put it on the Facebook immediately. There's a car going around and everybody is alert. If they start stealing, like if here where I live, they say, oh, they are stealing, make sure you lock your door. Your car doors, people are going around opening the doors. So you tell each other, and through that to start communicating. You can start something, or even if you don't start something, join something. But don't just wait For me, my prayer is we go back how our grand and our great-grandfathers used to live. That if I don't have an onion, I'll go to the second house and I get a new onion from there. Now you say, oh my God, what will they say? Always, what will they say? Or, no, I don't want to be ashamed. Before you even put water on the pot and you don't even have a rice to cook for the kids. You put the water and tell them, your son, can you go with this container? That's what we do back home, and tell them to put for you a bit of rice. And for sure they give you. I want us, my prayer is if we can go back to that. Let us start living the way we used to live. Can you imagine, like now this lockdown, you can see how everybody is so dull. Everybody is a lot of mental health. People, even now, they have become very friendly because now you want to talk to someone. If you go out, even the ones who didn't talk, they talk. They will say, hi, oh, that's a nice just to start a conversation. So let us all do a thing. You don't have to change the whole world, but change yourself and start with whoever is next to you. And if everyone does that, it will be a better world.
Good message. Thank you. For those who have seen the film or have worked with you, Rosemary, what
Yes.
comes across really loud and clear is that you seem to be having the time of your life every time. So how important is having fun in what you do?
My son the other day, he told me, Mom, now I have seen why you are always happy. Because some people postpone happiness. How do you know you will have tomorrow to be happy? You need to enjoy today. Because tomorrow will be a gift. You don't even know whether you'll see it. Or you are worried about yesterday. Yesterday is gone. Whatever you did, even if you can't bring it back. So for me, I concentrate on today. And when I wake up, I look for the positives. I first of all say, thank you, Lord, that I've woken up. Thank you, God, that I can breathe. That people can't breathe. They're using machines to breathe. Thank you, God, that I have a car to go to work. Thank God for the car. Even when I'm driving to the car, I just look at the environment. I'm so excited. I'm saying some people can't even going to work in some countries is a nightmare because of the traffic jam. Now I'm just going, I know 20 minutes I'll be in the office. That is something to be grateful. So once you start being grateful for the small things you have, even the cup, like now I have a beautiful cup. And when I look at this, I start smiling. Just look at those small things. And once you wake up with positives, that's how you'll end up. When I go to let's say a seminar or a conference, sometimes how they are boring, I change my thinking. So when I'm sitting there and the story is so boring and I'm thinking I'm gonna die, I stop and now I start looking at that person presenting. I look for one thing that I like in that person. Maybe it's her hair, maybe it's her shirt, the shirt, or maybe something. And once I start concentrating on that good thing, I start even listening to what he's saying subconsciously. And I don't get bored anymore. So if we can all change that negative, it will come, but just say, I'll deal with you another day. So when tomorrow comes, you say, I'll deal with you another day. So you just look for the positives and the energy comes back.
Great. So you're an Aussie now, Rosemary. You've been here for over 20 years. Has Australia become more or less welcoming in that time? And what needs to change?
Yes, I'm a proud Aussie, a citizen for many years. I love Australia. I remember when I was looking for somewhere to go, I used to pray. I'm a prayerful person. And I used to say, God, I want you to choose for me a country that you know my character, you know what makes me happy. I was talking to God as if he's looking at me there. And when I landed in Australia, I said, thank you, God, you chose for me the best country in the world. And it is true. I've traveled around the country. There's no country like Australia. When I hear people complaining, and I'm thinking, you travel and see. If I'm told to go out of this country, the only other country I can go back to is my country. So I just love Australia. It's people, many people just fear. That's what I've come to realize. They don't stop opening. because they don't want to. It's because of the fear of the unknown. I remember when I was working in Maryland, I organized a morning tea. And there's these two elderly ladies from a retirement village came. And they came because they came to the counter and they didn't get very good reception. So my commander then invited them for the morning tea, just to show that we are good people. And you know what they said? That was the first time they sat or talked to a refugee. And they said the reason why they always want to talk, because in Maryland, they are all migrants and refugees, maybe 75%. But they used to fear. What about if I say hi and it's the wrong way? What about if I look at them and you're not supposed to look at them in the eyes? So that fear, we need to remove that fear. Even if you make a mistake, they will still correct you. Yeah.
Thank you. So what we're going to do now, we've mentioned the film that was made about Rosemary's work a couple of times now, Rosemary's Way. So this will probably whet your appetite even more to watch the movie. And Keegan has put a couple of ways that you can stream the movie online or even organize a cinema screening. So I'm going to play the trailer now for you.
How are you? You're wondering who is this crazy woman here? I knew it had to be you.
Rosemary knows the community. She knows the pulse of the community.
She's the mom of everybody.
I'm a great believer of different cultures coming together.
Miracle for me is like I met an angel on the street.
Isolation is one of the biggest problems in the migrant community.
He didn't allow me to go outside and never talk with other people.
If you talk about domestic violence, nobody will come to the meetings. It's something they don't talk about. So you need to find a different way of approaching it. I have been trying to call you, I've been trying to SMS you. I really want you to come. And I don't want to know this time. There's so many women who don't leave their home.
I wish I can be in the Aussies area and see how they do, know how they think, just feel how Aussies feel.
I've gotten a house for you and the kids. I really want you to come.
There's not much cultural diversity here. I thought, you know, we've got to get something happening here as well.
Originally from Peru.
I'm from Congo.
Today, all I'm looking for is a husband, a farmer.
I want to see the refugee women learn about the beautiful people we found in this country.
I am beautiful. She brings people together. She's so positive.
What happened, you cannot change it, but you can change what is ahead.
She's sometimes a friend, sometimes like a mother.
She has done so much for me.
Time to let go and be a superhero. She's this big mama. She beams goodness and light.
Okay, we're back. So you'll see in the chat that Keegan has put some ways that you can actually catch that movie. What we're going to do now is we're going to open up to questions. So if anyone has a burning question they'd like to ask Rosemary, can you put it into the chat and we'll read it out? Prashanti's asking, love your energy, Rosemary. Do you ever have a bad day?
Yes, sometimes I have a bad day, but I don't dwell on the bad days. As I said, on that Saturday, I woke up feeling low because I don't see people. And I thought, what can I do? I love cooking. So I thought, I just went to the freezer. I started cooking and I forgot even I was going low because now when I start cooking, the smell, the good. And when I took that food, by the time I came, I was so happy. So I always, when I go down or like call somebody, I talk to them, and then I have a lot of wonderful people around me. When I did Creators of Peace program, that's also really helped me to be calm. So I don't think I ever like I cannot remember if I have ever had a day where I'm angry a whole hour, because I always change my thinking. Or I call somebody and talk about what is putting me down. And once by the time they finish, we have talked about other things to do with the women or the community. I forgot even I was down. So what I would advise people is, I know we cannot all be the same. If you feel dull, look for the positive thing. If you like, I like flowers, I just go outside and just look at a flower, and it brings the strong happiness in me. So once you start feeling low, then you continue that. That's when you go down. But for me, the minute I start feeling, no, this is not okay, I look for something to do. Or I just admire, or I put something on the TV, a comedy show, and I watch.
And a question from Diane, how do you keep your cup full?
How do I keep my cup full? As I said, I have wonderful, wonderful people around me. Whatever I do, I don't do alone. I have wonderful people who supports me, who checks on me, who gives me ideas, who checks. And for example, when I have like I have about 3 personal assistants. So when I get an email, I send to them. There's one very good. She checks on them, highlights for me where I'm supposed to do. Then I like road trips. I like dancing. I like my red wine. That's how I keep my cup full. I have associating myself. I love my family. We always visiting each other, or they come. And when I go somewhere, I take up some women with me, because many women I go with never ever go anywhere. Yeah.
We've got a question from Ada. Rosemary, can you share the story about how you started to listen to your children?
Yeah. When I started, when I was doing Creators of Peace, I think I am what I am today because of Creators of Peace. It taught me, because when you do the program, you go and practice. So you practice not to, like, for example, if somebody is driving, you know how you say, stupid, blah, blah. You practice not to say anything. To my children, you know, when they do a stupid thing, I'll blow up. Then that was the hardest. So I started practicing, because we have to come and report on our next group. What did you practice? So, and I remember I was standing in the kitchen with my son, and he had done a very stupid thing. And I didn't say anything. I feel like I'll blow up. I think I just put water in a cup and I just sip. Then my son and there was another housemate, they looked at me and they say, Mom, are you okay? Because I didn't say anything. Then I started listening to my children. I never used to listen, because many people are not only children. They'll tell you this, but they don't tell you what is it. But if you listen, you will hear the things they are not saying. And I started listening to them, and I can't remember, over 10 years, not even 10, maybe more than 10, I've never quarreled my children or shouted. In fact, even they do stupid things, I always tell them, you know, I don't like quarreling, and I'll leave it at that. And they change, and you become friends. My grandson, I started staying with my grandson when he was 6 months on the weekend, and I take to the mother, then every weekend. And my grandson just threw tantrums twice he's 17 today. And at that time, he was 2 years. And when he threw tantrums, the same time now I learned about inner listening, I sat down with him and I said, you know, when you are not happy and you don't tell me, you know, you are my friend, we used to call each other friends, you know, we are friends. I can't know why you are not happy. You tell me, before you cry, tell me why what you want. And if I can't be able to give you, I'll give you. If I am not able to give you, I'll explain to you why I cannot give. Then you can decide whether you want to throw tantrums. I'm telling you, that was the end. He has never, when he was 2. You know, we look at children, they're children, and we did them with children. Children of nowadays, they're like just adults. They have feelings. And once you start listening to them, you start, even my grandson, when I live with my grandson who is 17 now. If I have visitors and I don't tell him, he says, Shosho is grandma. Shosho, I live in this house with you, but you never told me. Before I could have just put that away, but he means something. He needs to prepare himself psychologically. So I make sure I tell him. He's like my husband in the house, or my somebody adult. We tell each other everything. If I'm running late, I'll tell him I'm running late. If I am doing this, I have to tell him, I have to run through him. And because of that respect, he's grown to a very young, very respectful young man. So it helped me, it changed my life. I always say that was my turning life for me and my children. I used to call them, they cut the phone. Now, if I call, even if they are busy, they'll SMS me and say, I'll call you when I finish what I'm doing. So even you can change. It's just it won't change overnight, but you work towards it. Anger and anger, 2 wrongs doesn't make a right.
A question from Ruth. How do you manage to provide food for other people?
I have never missed food. My house during Christmas is an open house. And I've done this from the time I came here. People bring me food. They say, Rosemary, I know you'll have people for Christmas. Somebody brings me ham. Another one brings me a leg of lamb. Another one brings me 5 kilos of rice. I don't ask them. But my friends and my neighbors bring me food. And I start buying slowly. From October, I start buying. So by December, the only thing I buy is meat. So when you want something, where there's a will, there's a way. And when I was growing up, there's a time I lived with my cousin and they never used to give me food. And I saw from that time, I will never not give anybody food. So I have never missed food. I always have food for everyone. Christmas, because the community I come from, most of them are international students. They are very young, 17 years to 21 years. It's the first time they don't have their parents, and that's when a lot of mental health issues arise. So everybody say, what are we doing for Christmas? What Rosemary's? They eat and they carry. Some come and stay even 4 days. Some tell me, I got my husband from your house. I got my girlfriend from your house. Some they tell me I can't even remember them. And I have never lost anything, even a golden chain, because I opened my house. Somebody said, you don't fear they'll steal something. I said, what will they steal? I don't have money, but I'll never miss food. So whatever you give, and you give with this hand, you get 10 times. I started something called Women Coffee Club. I started it because of this COVID. I started it in Makada area, and I'm starting one on this Friday, tomorrow, for Camden. It's a soft area for women to come. Now we're doing it online, but when COVID will go, we'll be meeting fortnightly. It's a way, because many women, and because where we live, there's a lot of migrants, there's a lot of spouse visa. They don't know the services which are in this country. They don't know that there's help out there. So when they come for the coffee, they get information and they make friends. The most important, once they make friends, the friends are the one who, because they have some who have stayed here longer, they are the one who, they start talking, they open up, because I'm always busy facilitating or doing something, and they hold their hands and they bring them all the way to the police station. just to report domestic violence, or even maybe they have issues with their children or they have other issues, I refer them. So, and sometimes I don't have money, but people offer. And the good thing, I have got very, very good connections. I have got like now I have a lady who just gave birth and she has got 2 other kids. She's gotten a cesarean section, so she cannot be able to do anything. I just shared that on the coffee club and I said, we want cultural food because we know when you give birth. So I had 3 people offer to cook, and one Australian lady goes, she cuts her lawn, and because her washing machine is broken down, she picks the clothes, washes in her house and brings it. It's just a matter of asking. The women who cooks, one cooks on Sunday, so I pick on Monday when I'm going to work and I drop it in the house. I just drop it outside because you can't go inside because of COVID. Then on Wednesday, I pick from one lady and the other one I pick on Friday. So they cook for 2 days, 2 days. So they eat cooked food. What this country is a wonderful country. People are good, only they don't know what they can do. So this lady doesn't have a washing machine. So if you have a washing machine and she's single there, she's going through a lot of issues right now, but I keep on checking on her and I hope she'll be okay. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the time. We've got 3 minutes more, so we probably have room for 1 question and 1 short answer. So a question from Annette. Were you always that positive, or did that come with life experience or faith?
I was not that courageous. It has come with experience and faith. I have very strong faith. I'm very prayerful. And also wild experience. I've gone through hell and back, but I have never given up. I've never reached a place to say, I can't do it. And when I came to Australia, it was very hard to leave my children back home. And I knew, I call it faith. I don't know what you call it. I knew I'll be okay. And you can see me, I'm okay. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
So, and also, one thing I always say, you have to associate yourself. People who are negative, people who just call you and tell you negative, this negative things, they take you down. Associate yourself with positive people. When I talk to Anne-Marie, I live when I'm laughing. We talk about it with Tanya, I'm living laughing. And one day we did, I love road trips and I wanted to do a road trip. So I asked a few ladies, who wants to come with me. I didn't have a plan where I'm going, but I said, you just come, wherever it is back, we sleep there. And we called the tour a Big Mama's Day Out. And that's 4 women. We went for 7 days. They used to ask me, Rosemary, are you crazy? How did you know all this place? I say, no, I just, provided the car is good and you have the fuel, you can just go. So, and these women, they said, I took them through Bathurst. We stayed 2 days in Dabo, went through parks, stayed in Griffiths 2 days, went through Wagga, came to Canberra, we stayed 2 days, and we came back. We did a lot. So you can do anything. And those women, they have never been the same. One lady invited me and said, Rosemary, I just wanted to bring one person. And can you tell me, Rosemary, being asked one person, how can I choose one person? So I looked and I went with Sophia. So Sophia asked me, why did you choose me and you have so many people? And I said, because I knew you'd say no and I will not take no. So I went and picked her from that. That morning she told me no, she's not, she looked for excuse. But because she has no friends, she's got a lot of wish. So she was very happy. And we went and stayed there for 3 days. It was not very far, just here in Wollongong. So I have that. I can see who needs this a lot, who needs this most, or who can fit this. If it's jobs, somebody comes to me because of support for domestic violence, but I can see this person needs a job. I connect her with job agency. I connect her with a mentor who will work with her because I cannot deal with all those people. So that is a gift God has given me. People come with this, but I can pick all those things they are not telling me. And once you connect them with a friend, you connect them with a job, and it doesn't have to be the job because most of them, especially spouse visas, they are very educated. Some are accountants, engineers. They say, this is a factory job. It's for you to wake up in the morning and know how Australians work. It's not a job, but it's for you to go and know how to wake up and go to work. And don't stay there long. Once you just stay there 6 months and you start applying for your job and start or changing your paperwork to suit Australian job. So it's so many things. I always say, I wish I can get somebody to employ me and work with the women full time, because there's a big gap, which for me, I just get it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rosemary. I mean, unfortunately, we're out of time, and I know that everyone would have loved to hear you talk for, at least another hour or two more, because you have so much to share. But we have to wrap up, and I want to say thank you, Rosemary, for speaking from the heart, as always, and for taking time out of, the crazy schedule that you have now that you're a local hero for the country. I'd also like to say thank you to Keegan Bryce for the tech support for this session and the earlier one, and for all the time that went into preparing for today. So you have the details for how to watch the film on FanForce TV. It's been wonderful to share this hour with so many of you. I hope that it's given you some courage and inspiration to reach out in friendship or assistance to a stranger nearby, to make them a friend, to make your corner of the world a little less strange and a little more peaceful and even fun. So thank you, everyone, and good night.
I just wanted to say the last thing. Tomorrow, I'm talking to the Vatican. So pray for me. They believe in the work I do about get to know your neighbor, about it's a refugee. Pope has got a very soft heart for the refugees and migrants, and they are celebrating the refugee week or something like that. And they invited me to talk to them. It will be on Saturday, 5 in the morning. So I hope I will wake up.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
You're amazing, Rosemary.
Thank you.
Missed you, Rosemary. Great to see you.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you.